Hi, my name is Anton, and this is one video from a series about comparing edge platforms for computer vision. In series of this video I comparing edge boards not only in terms of performance, but also from side of convenience and simplicity for development. One video, one platform. All videos are available on my channel, and at the link in the description you can find a final table with different boards and the article about the choosing logic. Today we reached Jetson Nano, and I work with different Jetsons starting from Jetson TK1. I think it's 2014 year, and part of our team has experience even with Tegra platforms that is even older, and we still have projects with Jetson. So the Jetson is one of the best platforms in my opinion, and my knowledge about Jetson is more than about any other platform that this video was about. But how Jetson good compared with current NPU platforms? And in this video I try to answer this question. Usually my story consists from three parts. In the first part I evaluate the board on several criteria that I think are important for computer vision boards. In the second part I tell the main way about development on the board, and in the third part I say something that didn't fall into formal structure of the first two parts, and for Jetson in my opinion it will be the most important part, because Jetson is unique platform. How easy to flash? California law says that you can't sell devices with default password, and to set the password you must, in case of the Jetson, you must connect monitor to the Jetson or an USB on the boot and connect to your PC. Either one of this way is not very convenient, because sometimes you don't have monitor, and for example I have some problems with drivers installation for Jetson. I would prefer the Raspberry Pi approach, when you just write your password during the flashing of the SD card. So I give only 4.5 star for Jetson. How easy to work? For this video I decided to do everything from the scratch, and doesn't use my previous boards and previous already flashed SD cards. And I was a bit disappointed. Jetson is not the simplest board on the market. The main disadvantage is a large volume of legacy on the internet. You can find dozens of answers to every question, and it's not clear which one is better and which one is correct. Of course, it's not a big question, because it's not a big problem, because it's better when you have a lot of questions than when you have none of them. But let's drop 0.5 star for the lack of a straightforward way. 4.5 star. How conventional is Linux? On this board it's Ubuntu, but there are few different changes. For example, it have its own drivers, and you didn't have any open access to this system. So I would give it only 4.5 star, Probably it will be less, but okay, 4.5. Community support. Massive support from the community. I think this board have the best support compared with any other board. Let's move to the models. Official model zoo. There is only one model. There is no only one model zoo for TensorRT. There are NVIDIA TensorFlow models. There are Tau models, and there are models catalogs from NVIDIA. So it's probably less convenient than straightforward open VNS approach to the model zoo. But I'm not sure that it's critical point for specific this board, because TensorRT everyone supported. So I think it's 5-star anyway, because it's easy to find any model and any official model. Unofficial model though. And there are a lot of models support TensorRT directly. Even YOLO v5, almost every YOLO support TensorRT and have TensorRT expert. So 5 stars. Easy to convert random model. I assume that TensorRT is one of the easiest framework to use converted model. But in my opinion, it's a bit harder to convert a TensorRT than OpenVINO model. This is due to the fact that the TensorRT engine must be built on the exact board you will be working on. This creates some logistical difficulties and additional development hook. At the same time, this doesn't prevent you from easily convert model to TensorRT if you develop just on one board. Of course, TensorRT probably even easier to convert it for some specific models than OpenVINO. So, in my opinion, it's 4.5. Easy to debug problem with conversion. In my opinion, 5-star, all the output is pretty clear. Product readiness. And now let's talk a little about how good the Jetson Nano is for real production. Processor speed. The processor in Jetson is quite weak. Check my guide. It's about the same level like Google Coral, for example. So usually I give only 3.5 star for this type of processor. Mechanical parts construction. The Jetson Nano is double-edged sword. The original dev board is good for hobby, but for real project it's not ideal. Rather high power consumption compared to the other board. Rather strange contacts. You will have a lot of different contacts, more than you need for the real project. But for example, there is no watchdog, a lot of, for example, you will not have some special contacts for production boards, like some special video outputs or probably some special USB connectors. So for real project, probably you will need different boards. And Jetson Nano have different boards. But when you will use such board, the price will become almost twice more than original Jetson. But such board will give you a good opportunity to use it in production. I think it's 4 stars. Easy to buy. 3 years ago I would give Jetson 5 stars, but now with the chip shortage, pretty often the purchase is complicated, especially with large batches. So for now it's only 4 stars. Pins for external connectors. As you can see, Jetson Nano have a lot of pins and they are pretty accessible through the Python. 5 stars. Speed test. The most important part, of course. And the Jetson Nano is different from all the other boards in my comparison. It's the only board with GPU computing. And it's, of course, affects the speed of calculation. First of all, the small neural network will be slower on the Jetson because you need first to send all the data on the GPU, you need to send your network on the GPU, so small neural network will be slower. But for big neural networks, Jetson will be a bit faster even than almost all of the boards. But when you will write production software on Jetson, probably you will develop on C++ or Deepstream, because you can cut a lot of latency when you didn't send the data between neural networks to the host and to the GPU after that. So you can write software that will send output of one neural network directly to the next neural network. And of course it will help you to improve speed a lot, even few times. And in my opinion, it's the main way to develop on the Jetson. But in my comparison, I will compare only neural networks like the speed of one neural networks with when you run it through the Python and take the data back on your Jetson machine. You can look at the speed here, you can go to the table and look to compare it with different boards. So in my opinion, Jetson is pretty fast board, but of course you can find a board faster specifically for your neural network. And don't forget that Jetson Nano doesn't support int8, and all calculation will go either on FP16 or FP32. The second part of the story is a small talk about development on Jetson Nano. And there is not much to tell here. The Jetson is close to any standard NVIDIA machine. And even all the driver will be already on the Jetson. And this allows you to run almost any working example just in few minutes. But the inference is a bit more complicated than average NPU board. Look here, you need to copy the memory and manually start the neural network with argument pointing to the memory. And as I already mentioned, when you want to maximize speed, you will need to put all your pre-processing and post-processing on GPU. And this is for this you need to write your code on CUDA on working through some existing library like like DeepStream. And I think I also need to append two very important rules when you work with Jetson. Don't forget to activate maximum speed if you have turned it off, because Jetson have different regimes like power effective and computation effective. So turn on maximum power consumption and you will have pretty good speed. And the second, don't forget to convert neural networks to TensorRT, because Jetson can run with original PyTorch, original TensorFlow, but such neural network will be pretty slow. The third part. Here I will tell you the different information that not fall in first and the second part of my video. And the Jetson boards have a lot of such information. Let's start from few words about what in Jetson different from NPU. And NPU boards are certainly designed for neural networks more than GPU boards. The problem with NPU will be is the lack of versatility. GPU provide a lot more variation in neural network construction. For example, if you have a completely new layer, usually you can't run it on NPU, but with GPU probably it will be just one command. Jetson gives you the ability to use new approaches and modify your approaches much faster. So the consequences is that if you are building researching system, then it's better for you to choose Jetson. The second important point about Jetson, if you need additional math that will need to parallelize well, it's easy to use it on GPU. For example, some 3D navigation task like SLAM, or some function optimization task like some modeling probably, or some hypothesis sorting, and all such tasks are the strange part of GPU boards. And in this price category, like the different NPU boards that I show you in my videos, for this price category, Jetson is the only platform that will allow you to do this. So Jetson is unique for such task. For example, we help Artex 3D to create the 3D scanner, and the heart of this 3D scanner is Jetson, and I don't think that it will be possible to create such unique 3D scanner with any different NPU boards. What else I want to append? Power consumption. And this is not the strongest part of Jetson. Jetson consumes more than any other board that I was reviewing. So if you want to your board work from battery, probably Jetson will be not the best solution. Usually Jetson Nano is hobby board and of course research board. When you work with real production, usually people use different Jetson boards like Jetson NX, Jetson TX2 or Jetson AGX because they have better capability for the same price. Of course, they will be 2 times more expensive than Jetson Nano, but they will be much more, they will have more performance. But it doesn't matter, and I like the Jetson family, even the Jetson Nano. It gives a unique option for building different products with cutting edges and corners. Of course, Jetson is pretty ancient board, and I hope that it will be some rebranding or some retuning to the Jetson family to allow it work with neural network even faster. But even now, I recommend Jetson for a lot of my friends to as main board for the project. Thank you for watching. Bye.